George and Nancy are 66 and 64, and they just retired with $1.7 million saved. But there is one major danger, a tax time bomb that's ticking that could derail their plan. Stick around to see if they get a red, yellow, or green light for their retirement. Welcome to Rise in Retirement,
where it is our goal to help you optimize and simplify your financial picture.
I'm Jet.
And I'm Taco.
We are financial advisors at W.A. Smith Financial Group, a firm trusted by thousands of people across the U.S. in an effort to help you focus more on your life and worry less about your money. It's why we come to you every Sunday here, and we've got another great case example to go over.
Yeah, so today's hypothetical case is George and Nancy retired together, age 66 and 64, $1.7 million saved up that they're going to be able to live off of the rest of their lives. And honestly, they look to be in really good shape, right? All things considered. There's one flaw, though.
Yeah.
And it's, we all worry about the tax guy, the tax man, right? Mr. Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
So that's the flaw that we're going to discuss today, is that Uncle Sam wasn't really considered in their financial plan.
This is a really common one.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised at how many people we meet come through a retirement tune-up financial review, hire our firm for help building the financial plan, and they look fantastic. They look great on paper. They've got enough money. Their withdrawal rate's good. And if they did nothing, they would probably be just fine. But then there's this tax conundrum that we're going to talk about that some people choose to ignore, some advisors choose to ignore, and we just think that that's the wrong way to approach this. There's so much more you can do, and we're going to go through that today.
Yeah, and the old stale advice in the financial industry was always to just kick the can down the road, right?
Yeah, on taxes.
Defer, and don't get me wrong, 401ks and all that have been a great savings tool. But I'm pretty sure the IRS knew what they were doing when this was created, and we now have this baby boom generation who has trillions and trillions of dollars that are just waiting to be taxed.
All tax deferred money.
And this is a perfect example where, George and Nancy did a great job saving, but all they've ever been told was just keep deferring your taxes. And when you retire, your taxes are going to be lower.
Yeah.
And that, not always the case, right?
Before we jump in and give you the specific case details, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so we can bring more content just like this to our viewers. And make sure to head over to riseinretirement.com. Link in the description below. More to follow on what's there for you. So,
all right. So George and Nancy, like as I mentioned, 66, 64, spending about $6,000 per month net of taxes. That literally gives them a happy life.
Okay.
That's doing everything they want to do. Of that 6,000, Social Security is kicking out about 4,300 of that.
Okay.
So they're about $1,700 net of taxes short per month. So round that up for easy, simplified purposes, $2,000 a month. So about 24 grand that they need to take off of their 1.7. Which is a 1.4% withdrawal rate, on their money. So again, things look great. They have 3 children. They have 8 grandchildren, and family is super important to George and Nancy.
Legacy is important.
And that's been stressed, to their financial advisor, to everybody, is that, hey, we want to obviously live a comfortable life, but it's inevitable that we have enough money.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure that our kids are taken care of, that our grandchildren are taken care of to the maximum, as much as we possibly can.
They're pretty frugal. I mean, when you look at it, 1.4% withdrawal rate looks fantastic.
Yep.
They're going to have to really screw some things up to make that not work for the long term.
They have no debt. They have long-term care insurance to where if, God forbid, their health fails them, they don't have to worry about, draining their portfolio due to that. You mentioned this, I believe, there's a ticking time bomb though, right? And that's the tax man.
Well, this is the thing that, it'd be very easy for George and Nancy to just sail off into the sunset and know that financially speaking, they're going to be good. But this is where we empower clients And good financial advisors and planners will say, hold on a minute. There's something else we need to tackle here. I think that's what you're alluding to.
For sure. And, we talk a comprehensive plan should address 5 key areas, right? It's income planning, it's investments, tax, healthcare, and legacy or estate.
Yep.
George and Nancy, I wouldn't even say they have an income plan because of this tax issue.
Yeah.
They've been told by their advisors so often that, hey, your withdrawal rate's so good, don't worry about it. That's your plan, is that, hey, you don't have to worry about running out of money. And that is a true thing. They don't have to worry about running out of money. But income planning says where you should be taking it from, how much taxes should we pay now versus, later. So we'll talk about some of the different things there, but they have an investment plan, because that's all the advisor has really cared about, unfortunately, is let's just manage this 1.7 million and do the best we can managing that. They have a healthcare plan, so check that one off.
Yep.
And then they have no legacy plan whatsoever, even though that's important to them.
Well, here's where it gets tricky. We said they have 1.7 million. 1.5 million of that is tax deferred.
Right.
It's what we call qualified money. When they take a withdrawal, they're going to have to pay state and income tax, state depending on what state they live in, but they're going to have to pay income tax on it. So the vast majority of their retirement savings is qualified. Now they're only pulling $24,000 a year off of this, and that's including taxes that they have to pull out to net what they need for that monthly shortfall so they can live the way they want to live. So they're pulling $24,000 now. They're 66 and 64. A 66-year-old is likely going to have to take required minimum distributions at age 73. If you don't know what an RMD is, I'll paint it to you this way. It's the point in time where the IRS says, hey, I don't care if you need this money or not. You have to take withdrawals annually from your tax-deferred money.
Yep.
Okay. So here's the issue. The little bit that they have to take off every year from 66 to that RMD age of 73, if they just made 5% a year in growth on their assets, which is fairly conservative, they might see their IRA pool balloon from 1.5 to 1.9 million by the time they get to that RMD age. And approximately what they'd have to pull is over $70,000 a year. So now they're in a scenario where they only need 24,000.
Yeah.
But Uncle Sam is making them pull more than 70,000 out. So how does that affect their tax picture?
Yeah, I mean, it could obviously drive their brackets up potentially, depending on all the specifics. It could drive their Medicare premiums up through IRMA adjustments. There's a lot of things to try to manage at that point when you're required to take out more than you have to. Mm-hmm. Now, Jed, I can already see this is, someone's watching this video right now, okay? And they're about to comment, these kids should be lucky that they're going to get anything.
Yeah.
This is so much money. This isn't a problem at all. These people have so much money. Who cares? Do we hear that sometimes?
All the time.
Where a client says, I don't really care. What we're trying to tell you, though, is they have 3 children and 8 grandchildren. If George and Nancy were to pass, you know who probably from a percentage standpoint, the number one beneficiary is on this estate? It's probably the IRS. Mm-hmm. And so whether these kids are going to inherit a lot of money, yes, they are. To me, it's still irresponsible to not be more efficient if possible.
I've heard this analogy. When you have IRA money, 401k money, you basically have a mortgage with the IRS.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, if you just ignore this problem and you go, hey, I'm good, they're going to get tons of money. I did more than enough for them. You're taking all that hard work and savings that you sacrificed 20, 30, 40 years of a career for and just saying, I'm okay with not giving the bulk of this money to my family.
Right.
When that's George and Nancy's, one of their number one goals is to provide a legacy because they know they have more than what they need.
Yeah.
So in closing, they can be doing some things here. Before we give them a red, yellow, or green light assessment, we'd mentioned riseandretirement.com earlier. Head over to the landing page. There's a link in the description below for that. Ton of awesome free guides and resources that you can request there. If you're ready for a retirement tune-up financial review, it's a complimentary consultation, no obligation. We'll go through your scenario just like we do here on Rise in Retirement, only on a one-on-one individual basis. You can request that appointment there. There's some awesome stuff there.
Yeah, and while you're there, make sure that you join our weekly Ascend 360 Insider. It's a weekly video sent to you from the CEO of W.A. Smith Financial, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, every single Thursday, just packed with valuable information as you kind of guide through your retirement years here.
Yep. I mean, this is a no-brainer. They're a green light.
They're
a shining, bright green light. But even green light assessment people have additional things that they can do to impact positively their future, their family's future, as long as they understand what those opportunities are and they're committed to approaching them. But you're also working with a financial advisor who wants to see you impact those situations positively.
Yeah. The perfect example here of this is the difference between tax preparation and tax planning. George and Nancy need tax planning. They need someone to look at a higher level, bigger picture of what's the next 5 years look like? What does it look like at that RMD age? What will your potential tax liabilities be? If you were to pass, the kids inheriting this money have a 10-year window. So $1.5 million that the kids are going to have to spend down in 10 years, probably in the prime of their careers from an earning standpoint. George and Nancy could probably start doing, we talk about what can they be doing? Well, Roth conversion's a big one, right? They could start taking advantage of the brackets they're in now where they can kind of control them, be more in line with maybe call it the 22% bracket, maybe even 24%, versus the kids inheriting this money on top of their earnings, their salaries, whatever it may be, potentially at 37%, or, taxes could go up, over time. So it's just a way for you to look at this and say, hey, what can we do? How can we control this from now until RMD age? If they're charitable, they could start looking at doing some charitable type of things to lower the required minimum distribution. So there's a lot of planning that can be done to, again, check that box off and say, hey, we've conquered another step within the retirement journey.
Yeah, good for George and Nancy. They can do this, but don't stop there. So final takeaways, mine is simple. If you believe tax rates are going to go up, this is going to actually get worse than what we detailed for them. Yep. So they should not ignore it. They got to do something.
Yeah. My takeaway is, again, lose that mentality of, I'm living comfortable, and my kids, if they get anything, then they're lucky to have it, right? Be more efficient if you can be more efficient. Don't let the IRS take more than your own family and generations. It's not logical at that point.
That's it for today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Turn that bell notification on so that you get alerted of all of our new content as we post it on the weekends. And if you have a comment, we'd love to hear it. If you want to, we'd like to know what you thought about this video. Drop your scenario in. Head over to riseandretirement.com for a lot more.
That's it for today. We'll see you next time on Rise in Retirement.